Welcome back to AI Podcast with Wool and Anna. And today is a little different. Because this isn't just another episode. This is the final episode of Season 2. When we started this season, AI was already changing incredibly fast. But even then, I don't think we could have predicted just how much the conversation would evolve. We've talked about tools. We've talked about marketing. We've talked about agents. We've talked about automation, creativity, content, business, and the future of work. And today, instead of asking what the newest AI tool is, we're asking a much bigger question. Where are we actually going?
And I think that's the perfect question for a season finale. Because after talking about AI for so many episodes, one thing has become very clear to me. The technology is changing incredibly quickly. But the biggest transformation isn't actually happening inside the technology. It's happening in the way people think about work, creativity, and business. At the beginning, people asked, what can AI do? Then they started asking, how can I use AI? Now we're seeing a completely different question. What can I build with AI?
Looking back at Season 2, what's the biggest lesson for you?
I think it's that AI isn't one single technology. It's an ecosystem. We have generative AI, AI search, AI agents, AI video, AI image generation, AI automation, AI analytics. And these technologies become much more powerful when they work together. That's probably the biggest shift we've discussed throughout this season. We're moving away from using isolated tools and toward building AI-powered systems.
So instead of saying, I use ChatGPT, we're eventually going to say, I have an AI workflow that runs part of my business.
Exactly. And that's a huge difference. Imagine a small business owner. AI researches competitors. Another system analyzes customer feedback. Another creates content. Another prepares email campaigns. Another analyzes performance. And the business owner doesn't spend their day doing repetitive work. They spend their time making decisions. That's where I think AI becomes truly transformative.
But there's something we've returned to again and again. Human creativity. Why do you think that's still so important when AI can create almost anything?
Because creating something isn't the same as having something to say. AI can generate an image. But it doesn't automatically know why that image matters to you. AI can write a story. But your personal experience is what makes that story meaningful. AI can generate thousands of marketing ideas. But somebody still has to decide which idea represents the brand. That's why I don't think the future is humans versus AI. I think it's humans with AI.
If Season 2 was about understanding where AI is going, what do you think the next phase will be?
I think we're going to see much more focus on AI agents, automation, and personalization. AI won't simply create an answer. It will increasingly help execute a process. And businesses will start building AI systems around specific goals. Marketing, sales, customer support, research, operations, content. That transition is going to be fascinating.
Anna, after everything we've discussed across these 2 seasons, do you feel more excited or more cautious about the future?
Honestly, both. I'm excited because AI gives people incredible possibilities. A small team can now do things that once required a large organization. A creator can build a global audience. A small business can automate processes that used to require entire departments. But I'm cautious because powerful technology needs responsible people behind it. The faster AI becomes, the more important human judgment becomes.
I think that's probably the perfect lesson to take away from Season 2. Technology will keep changing, the tools will change, the platforms will change, the models will change, but our ability to learn, adapt, and think critically will remain incredibly important.
And maybe that's what this podcast has really been about. Not simply learning which AI tool is popular this week, but learning how to think about this technology. How to experiment, how to adapt, and how to use AI without losing the human element.
And with that, we've reached the end of Season 2. Anna, thank you for all these conversations. We've covered so much ground.
Thank you too, Will. And thank you to everyone who's been part of this journey.
From AI marketing and content creation to agents, automation, and the future of work, it's been an incredible season.
And if there's one thing I hope people take from these episodes, it's this. You don't need to know everything about AI. You just need to stay curious enough to keep learning.
That's a beautiful place to end. This isn't goodbye to AI Podcast with Wool and Anna. It's simply the end of another chapter.
And hopefully, the beginning of an even more interesting one.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of Season 2. We'll see you in the next chapter.
Until then, stay curious, keep learning, and keep experimenting.
See you next season.